How's it going, everyone? And welcome to another episode of the Black Metal Rebellion. Today's episode of... Goddamn. I don't know if you could hear that, but I can. Anyways, this episode is going to be about elitists. It's been a while, and I see that my Jesse Talks Metal episode 5 Elitism video has been getting a little bit of views. It's about 900 views at the moment, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad that everyone's tuning in and checking that out. But it does seem that there could be a little bit more said. Maybe if it's just to maybe beat a dead horse a little bit more into the ground and talk a little bit more about the issue. So, once again, we're going to be tackling elitism and elitists. I've been recently getting this whole, oh, why don't you cry about it some more? Why don't you cry about other people's opinions some more? Well, my friend, it's not just their opinions. Like, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. I'm cool with opinions. I'm cool with opinions that don't, concur and align with mine. My thoughts and opinions isn't the be-all and end-all of what things are. It's just how I feel about things and what my perception of certain issues are. I have no problem with opinions. What I do sort of have a problem with, though, is people taking their opinions and just like cramming it down your throat like it's, hardcore facts. Like, these things are just irrefutable and you cannot argue with them, and if you do, then there's something wrong with you as a person. And this is what a lot of elitists are doing. They're mistaking opinions with facts and vice versa, and they are belittling, they are negative, they are very segregative. They further push a wedge in between people and just start shoving them apart, and they put themselves higher above everyone else who doesn't think the way they think or listen to the music they listen to. We wouldn't have a problem with elitism and elitists if these people would just stick to it's an opinion and not focus their hate and negativity and belittling and outing of other posers or people they deem to be non-metalheads or people they deem to be unworthy of calling themselves such based on what music they do or do not listen to or do not own. Some people are still trying to tell me that elitism is a good thing or elitism is needed. I would love to actually hear a proper logical case for this and presented in a format that's reasonable and legit and has some weight to it. Because elitism is basically taking a certain type of music genre, certain type of band, and holding them up on a platform and saying, if you don't measure up to this, you're a poser, or you're a pussy, or you're a faggot, or you're some sort of other negative, derogatory thing. And it's just, once again, it's bullshit. Because, just because I like Darkthrone and Mayhem and Burzum and Emperor and Immortal, it could go either way. It could be like, oh, well, you just like the starter pack black metal bands. Or it could be like, I like the true Norwegian old school black metal, and that's it. Everything else is shit, and if you like it, then you're an idiot, or you're a poser, or you're a pussy, or you're some sort of degrading insult because you don't listen to what I listen to. Well, that's not how it is. Elitists like to think that their opinion is the be-all and end-all, and it's not a good thing. Standards is a good thing. There's a difference between being elitist and having musical standards. Now the problem with that is you don't have to. The only one that you're holding to these musical standards should be yourself. You shouldn't be thrusting this code of standards upon other people. Other people got to live their own lives. Other people got to do their own thing. Listen to what they want to listen to. First of all, music isn't the be all and end all of life. Okay, it's just something we listen to enjoy, to pass the time if we've got free time. It's something to entertain us. It's something to do that makes us happier in life. It's one small little thing in life that makes us happier, that we get to enjoy, that we get to choose our own preference of. All right? So, your opinion, elitists, on music is less than nothing for the most part, because everyone's got their own opinion on what they think is good in music and what they do not think is good or enjoyable to them. And if you got a peer or an associate or a buddy of yours who doesn't listen to the really obscure old school black metal or death metal or whatever that you listen to, who cares? Hey, give them some time. They might eventually get there. Myself, I still consider myself quite the Nubian of black metal. Okay, I've been listening to it for about 2 years now, and I've still got a lot of way to go. Does that make me a poser? No. Does that make me a faggot? Because I'm not listening to something that, Backmasking is listening to, that's pretty underground and only has like 100 fans, maybe? That doesn't get hardly even any remotely moderate, play that people listen to? No. That just means I haven't got there yet. I've got a whole bunch of other shit to listen to before I get there. And that doesn't make me any less of a metalhead. It doesn't make me any less of a black metal fan. It doesn't make me some sort of fucking, I don't know, some sort of negative thing that you want to call me. No. And on the other scale, I've been listening to black metal for 2 years. And baby, I've got a friend who hasn't even got there yet. They're still like checking out hard rock or like regular heavy metal. Maybe they haven't even got to death metal yet. Maybe they haven't got to, slam and black metal and all that other, even more underground stuff yet. They're not a poser because of it. I mean, the most elitist I'm gonna get is a comment like, well, at least they're not listening to rap or fucking country music. That's the most elitist thought that's going to run through my brain, to be honest. I'm like, well, at least they're listening to something heavy. At least they're listening to something with more substance to it. But I'm not going to, rag on them because they're listening to Five Finger Death Punch, or they're listening to Avenged Sevenfold, or they're listening to fucking, even my unpopular metal opinions videos. If you like some of those bands, cool. If you like Iron Maiden and you just discovered them and they're like the hottest, coolest thing to you, good for you. I mean, I'm not going to tear you down because of it, but, once you're done there, there's a ton of more cool shit to be checking out. So don't just stop there, my friend. I don't care what you listen to. Enjoy it and discover new stuff when you can. I mean, I don't have, oodles of time to be spending on YouTube and other things, to be checking out one new band after another and after another. I've got things I have to tend to in my life. I've got kids. I've got a wife. I've got other projects and shit that I got to do. It's probably going to take me another couple of years to get where Canyon Bickle or Backmasking or Count Blagarath has gotten with their black metal, because they've been listening to that a lot sooner than I have. They've been listening to it a lot longer than I have. Whoop-de-doo. And, I don't have to like what they listen to. I don't have to like what Wyatt X him listens to. Right now, he's really on a drowning... No. Not drowning the light. Dragged into sunlight binge right now. I don't really see the big deal with that band. They're all right. They're obviously talented. They're making music. They're touring. They're doing the whole shebang. I wish I was fucking there and doing that shit. So kudos to them. But White XM is really into Dragging the Sunlight right now. He's got some people into it, like, sorry, buddy, what's your name? Necro Lee? I can't think of your first name. I only know you from your YouTube name, even though I have you on Facebook, and I'm being an idiot right now. Brain on. But yeah, Necro Lee just recently got into them because of WideXM. Cool. He got to find a new band that he likes through a channel that he likes. I don't quite see the big deal about it. I have a song or two to check out by them that they suggested to check out, so that I could maybe potentially get the big deal. But as it stands, I'm not a huge fan of that band right now. I don't have to be. You don't have to be. You don't have to be into what I like. You don't have to prove yourself just because some dickhead goes, oh, well, you don't like this band, and you're a pile of shit. Fuck you for not listening to the bands I like and liking them. You're a poser. Sorry, that's not how it works. Like I said in a previous video, I described the whole poser and faggot thing, and why those kind of comments really don't have any ground to stand on when being tossed around the metal community. And yes, people are still being elitist. Elitism is still running rampant. People are still thinking they're better than other people for listening to a certain type of music. And once again, I don't care about opinions. I can deal with opinions that aren't mine. I like opinions that are the same as mine for the lot of the part. But I can also respect opinions that aren't exactly the same as mine too, because it gives you a new perspective on things if you're willing to approach it in a mature adult way. Like, I've seen so many people that think just because someone happens to like a certain band in a certain genre makes them inferior. It's just, no. They're not stupid because they like that band. They just happen to enjoy the sound that that band makes. It's not about opinions. The problem with elitism is when it goes beyond giving an opinion. When it goes to harassing someone and calling them names and making them feel like a pile of shit for something that they enjoy. It's not necessary. How does what they're listening to affect you? How does it directly affect you, elitists? That's what I'd like to know. And why do you feel the need to attack this person in a negative manner? Like, how does telling these people they're a pile of shit, or they're a pussy, or they're a faggot help you in any manner? How does that tell the, like, it's kind of like bullies. People have been saying, oh, well, if it wasn't for bullies, I would have never manned up and become the stronger character that I am today. Those bullies really changed my mind. Are you kidding me? That's not how you deal with shit. That's not how shit changes. Want to know how things get changed? Want to know how minds, forms different opinions? Positivity. Encouragement. There's a proper method to introducing people to new bands, to new movies, to new whatever the fuck in the entertainment field. Calling them down to the ground and implying that they suck dick because they listen to a band isn't going to make them change their mind on that band. It's just going to make them feel like a pile of shit for no reason. One of my favorite bands right now is, I don't know. What the fuck do I listen to right now? I've been listening to a lot of Kraft recently. I've been listening to a lot of Shooter recently. Take. If someone was to come up to me and be like, yo, Take is for a bunch of faggots. You suck dick when you listen to Take? Do you have a man's penis in your mouth while you're listening to that music? You really are a piece of shit, You shouldn't listen to Take. You should listen to stuff like Moon's Blood, and Owl's Blood, and Goat's Penis Blood. That's not going to make me listen to the bands you just suggested. That's going to make me think you're a dick, and that's probably going to have the opposite effect. I'm probably not going to want to have anything to do with those bands because an asshole with a stupid opinion was trying to shove it down my throat And every time I think of those bands, it's gonna make me think of that asshole. So yeah, you're doing a detriment by tearing people down, and also including that they should be listening to these bands. Like, if you're actually, smart enough to include alternatives to the shit bands that you think they're listening to. Ranter and Shades did a pretty damn good job at addressing how to properly introduce people to new bands. It's frustrating. It's like, why don't you cry some more about it? I'm not crying. Do you see tears in my eyes? I'm annoyed. You're slightly pissing me off. I'm not crying about it. I'm not being a whiny, pissy little baby. I am forming a rather genuine opinion on something that needs to be addressed, and you're missing the point completely. Absolutely missing the point. If you think elitism and elitists need to exist, you're missing the point. If you think elitism and elitists are a good thing, you are definitely missing the point. Or you just don't give a shit about your fellow man. One of the two. Because if you want to introduce someone to a new band, don't attack them for the bands they do like. Be like, hey, I noticed you like this band. If you like this band, maybe you will like this band. For example, and I've said it before in the last video or two a while ago, Darkthrone, for whatever reason to me, they have a modern version, I think, of them. Craft. I think Craft is kind of like a modern version of Darkthrone. Say I did not like Darkthrone, and I think someone would be better off listening to Craft. I wouldn't be like, you're a piece of shit and a poser for listening to Darkthrone. Your ass, you should stop being such a cocksucker and listen to Craft. That is the wrong way to go about that. You should be like, oh yeah, Darkthrone's okay, but have you ever checked out the Craft? They've got A, B, and C reasons why that you should totally check them out, and they've got some great riffs that I think you'll enjoy, maybe even a little bit more than Darkthrone. If someone's listening to Avenged Sevenfold or Five Finger Death Punch, the way to not go about it is to call them a pussy, or a poser, or a faggot, and tell them that they're a piece of shit for listening to that music. The proper way to go about it is, hey, I see you like Avenged Sevenfold and Five Finger Death Punch. Maybe you would enjoy A, B, and C band instead for A, B, and C reasons. Let me know what you think. Maturity, being an adult about it, versus being a scumfuck asshole and elitist about it. Alright, there's a way to go about things and there's a way to not go about things. I mean, do we or do we not want more metalheads in the community? Do we or do we not want people to think better about us as metalheads in the community? Or do we want to fit that stereotypical asshole view that the mainstream society or hard rock listeners might have against us? Do we really want to fit that stereotype? Because that's not going to draw anyone towards our side of the fence. It's not going to help us any. So, next time you think people are just being posers, or they're listening to garbage, according to your opinion, think about how you're going to approach it next time. Am I going to be a dick? And am I just going to, ridicule this person? Or am I actually going to help them listen to something a little bit more underground? Am I going to bring... Am I going to shed some light on this cool band that I enjoy in a way that's actually going to convince someone to listen to it? Pull your head out of your ass and think before you start confronting these so-called posers, these so-called faggots, these so-called whatever negative thing you want to call them. All right? So, no. I'm not crying about elitism. I'm not crying about elitists. I am simply addressing an issue that needs to be stopped. if this whole metalhead community thing is going to be better, if it's going to be improved, if the stereotypes are going to stop, we as metalheads need to stop putting ourselves on a higher level than everyone and just realize, hey, this level right here that we think we're at, we weren't always there. Everyone starts somewhere, and the only way they're going to progress is with positivity, encouragement, and acceptance. Okay? This has been a Black Metal Rebellion episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please leave a comment in the section below. And let's just try a little bit harder to be more accepting of newcomers to the metalhead community, alright? It's not that hard. Your opinion is not the be-all and end-all of music. Sorry. It's not. It's just an opinion. People are allowed to have other opinions that don't roll with yours. And if you want to convince someone of something else or present some other type of music, go ahead. Present away. But don't be an asshole about it. Don't be an elitist. Because you're not better than anyone. It took you a while to get where you are. You just need to let people get there on their own, or help them out to get there in a positive, encouraging way. Otherwise, guess what? If you give them shit, they're going to tell you to fuck off.